Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jermaine Johnson, and I'm going to be sharing with you all a brief overview of my conceptual leadership model. The article by Sundime really stood out to me. It really encapsulated what I feel about some of the leadership programs that I've been a part of in the past. There was a lot of talk when it came to leadership, but there was nothing really there to back it up. They would use big words and try and catch phrases and different things like that, but I think that most people can see right through those things if you do not have the right intention or action behind them. To me, leadership is about action. It is about having a shared vision or goal with the organization and constantly taking actions towards achieving that goal. Communication and consistency are key in order for a leader to find any kind of success. If I had to pick two words to describe my leadership philosophy, they would probably be communication and consistency. Yes, I understand that those might not be core competencies, but when discussing most topics of leadership, communication and consistency are words that always come up. So I wanted to make sure I emphasize them. Throughout the course of the semester, we have read and learned from Gill's 6 core competency model. These competencies include vision, purpose, values, strategy, empowerment, and engagement. I will be briefly touching on some key points about these competencies. The vision of the company is the big goal that they aspire to achieve over time. This is the dream self of the company. Mission is the purpose or the why of the organization. The mission also describes what the company does and who the company serves. In a sense, the vision shows where the company wants to be, and the mission is how they will get there. I feel it is important to include shared vision in this slide because without having a shared vision between the organization and the employees, the organization will not reach its full potential. Dr. Walker stated that an employee that connects with the vision and mission are more likely to find meaning in their work. This statement illustrates how just how impactful a strong mission can be. It should be the goal for leaders to try and create an environment where this meaning can be achieved. As leaders, it is important to be able to communicate the vision and mission to your followers consistently. How much effort is placed on ensuring the vision and mission of the company is a key responsibility for leadership. If they do not emphasize where they want to go, it is not likely that employees will just read a vision or mission statement and just follow it and know where the company is trying to go. Values are principles or standards that are considered to be important or beneficial. Um, each person has their own values, and the organization should have their values. Um, Organizational culture is the rules, values, and principles that guide the organizational behavior. And this is strongly influenced by leadership. Organizational culture is a topic that I take great interest in. When I began working at the Carrasco Job Corps Center, I would always hear them talking about the Carrasco culture and what that meant to them. And throughout my time working there, I began to understand what that really meant. Um, Culture is the how we do things around here of the company. It's the daily actions, beliefs, and values of the people in the organization that have been learned over time and become the norms of the company. The culture is strongly reflective of what the leadership of the organization prioritizes and enforces on a consistent basis. In my experience, there were many positive things about the quote Carrasco culture, especially when it came to our dealings with the students. But there was also an undertone of seniority ran everything. Even though there could have been staff that were not in necessarily leadership positions, the staff that were in leadership positions, they would kind of look out for those that have been there for the longest amount of time, and which in theory is a good thing, but they would look past mistakes or look past certain things just because of that seniority, and that kind of culture was actually built up into the center. So when new people would come along, it would kind of make them feel uncomfortable because they felt that there was more favoritism. So that was one thing that we did have to deal with. Strategy is a plan on how to achieve goals set out in the vision and mission statement. Developing the strategy is a process of seeing where the organization wants to be and coming up with a plan on how to get there. It involves aligning the vision of the organization with the necessary resources and actionable steps to help make that vision a reality. Gill states that implementing strategy is above all a process of communication. The aim of communication is gaining an understanding of and a commitment to strategy. It is the responsibility of management and leadership to keep consistent communication with all employees to ensure understanding and cooperation in the organization's strategy, vision, and purpose. Empowerment means to give people the necessary knowledge, tools, and authority to manage themselves and their performance. Creating an environment where employees feel empowered is a leadership's responsibility. They cannot just give a team a project one time and expect them to feel empowered. They have to consistently be willing to trust teams or individuals with a greater level of responsibility while having a strong system of accountability in place. Engagement is the employee's intellectual or emotional commitment to the organization and the effort given to their work. There are two types of motivation that people have: extrinsic motivation, which means that they are motivated by outside sources. This type of motivation will eventually lose its effect on employees. Intrinsic motivation, which is internally motivated people. They are self motivated and do not need outside influences for them to want to succeed. Like Dr. Walker stated in her lecture, you would rather have intrinsically motivated staff than an extrinsically motivated staff. An example of this was when I was a supervisor at the Job Corps. I was responsible for the career success teams for all the students on center. This was a new project brought aboard by the new company that had just taken over the center. The teams involved the counselors, the residential advisors, and the students' teachers. The system that was created allowed for the staff involved to meet at least once per week and with the students at least once per month. It was designed to have those staff with the most interaction with the students and guide them in any situation where they were struggling. The incentives were to reach certain goals as a team, and it would give them up to $300 every quarter, which added up to $1,200. So when I introduced that to them, of course they were excited about it. But as they began to work in the success teams and see how beneficial it was for the students, they no longer really cared about the monetary incentive more than they just genuinely enjoyed doing that work because they understood what benefit it was giving to the students. So it went from an extrinsic motivator of the $300 per quarter to an intrinsic motivator of, you know what, I have a passion to help these students, and these success teams and this focus on the students is really helping them out, so I'm happy with that. And creating that intrinsic motivation was key in helping those students out. In conclusion, effective leadership involves aspects of all topics discussed. Leadership can be hard work, but when you put in that work, it can be greatly beneficial to the organization. I try to tell myself to be the leader that I would want to follow. That doesn't mean I have to know everything or be perfect, just to do my best for the team and constantly try to improve yourself. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.